What's going on, wrestler family? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see and hear, this isn't my typical setup. This is my Timu setup at work so I can try to give you guys a lot more consistent content because I feel like that I lack in that department and you guys deserve better. As much as you guys support me, the thing that I can do is try to find a way to provide more consistent content regardless if it's here or at home, whatever the case may be. You're going to see that moving forward. But you guys didn't click on this video to talk about that. We're here to talk about the possible Intercontinental Championship match that could happen at Summerslam and how we're going to book that thing. Now, if you didn't know, Adam Pearce posted on Twitter or X, aka Scrap Daddy, which always feels weird to call him that. He announced that we're going to get an Intercontinental Championship match tonight on Monday Night Raw between Ilja Dragunov and Sami Zayn. Now, the result of this match is fairly obvious. I mean, we're not going to have Ilja Dragunov win tonight as much as he's one of my favorite wrestlers now, and he's been incredible. I've been watching him since NXT UK. But think about the possibility of a singles title changing hands on a weekly television show when it comes to WWE, especially one that's being close to a pay-per-view, which SummerSlam is 2 weeks away. It just doesn't make sense for that to happen right now. Now, if this was a Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, after Sami Zayn possibly retained, then okay, I get it. I will say you got it. Maybe they will change hands with the title, but in this scenario, I don't think that's going to be the case. But the thing that I know for sure that you cannot do tonight, you cannot have Sami Zayn beat Ilja Dragunov clean. You cannot do that. If you think the IWC blew a head gasket when Drew McIntyre failed his cash in, if you think they crashed out when he beat Braun Breaker clean, which personally I still don't understand why he beat him so clean. I knew he was going to win, but to beat him clean with just a regular kick to stop the spear and then hit him with a haluva kick, like the Sami Zayn feet stink that bad? Is that the angle we're trying to go? Because it made no sense to me, but it is what it is. You cannot do that again tonight because that's going to hurt Ilja Dragunov. Now, what is the only other option to happen here? Well, it's the obvious option. Braun Breaker got to come in and interfere. And I would not be surprised if they have a spot where Sami Zayn and Ilja Dragunov gets tied up, whether it's a man trying to in a position to give the other person a German suplex, or they just like throwing blows at each other or whatever, and Braun Breaker comes in and spears the both of them, playing maybe a slightly injury angle, and that would be cool to see and make Braun Breaker look that much more like a monster. But if he comes in and spears them one by one, I wouldn't be surprised by that either. Now, what I think is going to happen is Adam Pearce is probably going to suspend Braun Breaker until the match at SummerSlam, which that's all Adam Pearce does. He just suspends people, man. Although he's my Chicago brethren, he has no control over the Raw roster. He's just a bald Tony Khan at this point. Like the inmates are running the asylum at this point. Much respect to you, Adam Pearce. I love what you post on social media. I love the positivity. But I think that's what's going to happen. Now, in this match at SummerSlam, if it does become a triple threat match, or whatever match it is, Braun Breaker has to be involved. Braun Breaker has to win that match. He cannot suffer another loss because you already slightly hurt his momentum after what happened at Money in the Bank, especially losing cleaner than the Pope dipped in scope. You cannot have this happen one more time. This will hurt his momentum even more, right? The only way you can have him lose is I have some options that are kind of unrealistic, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's just talk about a little bit more in realism. Braun Breaker has to win this match, and he has to pin Sami Zayn. It has to pin Sami Zayn, because Ilja Dragunov getting pinned, it's just going to hurt him. And if Sami Zayn wins, let's say Sami Zayn wins clean tonight on Monday Night Raw, and still doesn't get pinned in that triple threat match and somehow survives that, then the accusations of Sami being Super Sami, although I don't agree with that, will make a lot more sense, bro. They will have a lot more sense of saying and calling him that, and he doesn't need this. I mean, he already beat Braun Breaker clean at Money in the Bank. He already beat Gunther at WrestleMania. So he's already established. He already got his stripes of being invincible at this point. So you don't need to add more to that anymore, right? So the only scenario where it would kind of make sense is two ways. One being extremely unrealistic, and the other one, which is a possible situation that could happen, to have Braun Breaker possibly lose this match and maybe Sami retains, or maybe Ilja winning the title off of Sami Zayn. The first one is the unrealistic one. And since it's a triple threat match, meaning that there is no DQ, again, I don't believe this, but would it be cool to see? Yeah, it'd be real cool to see if they swerve us on the whole situation with Ricochet, and Ricochet somehow, some way, cost Braun Breaker this title match, and then they spin off into their own feud because Ricochet got to pay him back from slamming his bald head on that concrete, right, bouncing it off the ground like a basketball. If they get into their feud, that'll be great for Ricochet because there's a story being told here. I saw Bully Ray say something about involving Samantha Irvin in one way or another on Twitter. Salute to him. I think that will be a great storyline because as of late, Ricochet, since he's been in WWE, he hasn't been involved in anything with a great storyline. And I think that will be fantastic to see. That will be the only reason why that would make sense. Or if Sheamus interferes into that match and costs Braun Breaker the match, and then maybe they'll have a fatal four-way or something like that. But I don't want to see that happen either. I want to see Braun Breaker walk out with that title on his shoulder. But that I think either way, the triple threat match, it's going to be a fantastic match. Ilja Dragunov is amazing. Sami Zayn is amazing. Braun Breaker is a monster right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this match is going to turn out. But at the end of the day, you got to have Braun Breaker win it or some type of interference to start a feud between Braun Breaker and someone else in order for him to lose. You cannot just have him lose clean or Sami Zayn win this match because now it's like, what's the point? People are going to get tired of Sami Zayn. People are already turning on Sami Zayn, whether they have they have a good reason or they're not being reasonable. You got to have it where Braun Breaker wins this title. He cannot lose again. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section how you will book this match tonight and how would you book the match at SummerSlam. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. Thank you guys so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.